Hello, this is What I've Been Thinking with Marcus Cage. I'm your host, Marcus Cage. Well, politicians being stupid politicians as usual, and honestly, just call it how it is, white people being stupid white people as usual. One of my, I guess, favorite nemesis to talk about, Nancy Pelosi, steps in it again. I'm not gonna play the clip or go into it. You guys probably already heard it by now. If not, you need to go look it up and listen to it. Showing her complete just tone deafness. I mean, she's saying thank you for one, like he chose to get himself, stuffed out on camera to go viral. I doubt that was his intentions when he went to the store, that he was going to spark some kind of civil rights movement. So to thank him for his death, I mean, but it's Pelosi. So what do you expect? I mean, we saw what was going on during the pandemic, how she was, what was it? Putting rules on certain areas while violating the rules herself. We saw how not that long ago she was complaining about the whole stock trades things what the Republicans were doing last year. Now she has her own stock things going on. We also know those who were big supporters of Bernie Sanders. We know how much she tried to thwart everything and how much she pushed more for things to lock down sooner. Even though it might have locked down anyway, she was one of the proponents on lockdown. Now, for my own self, I guess a harmless conspiracy political theory is that Biden's rallies, if he's having rallies and people aren't showing up, that would make a difference on funding, and that makes a difference optically on how people value your support. If you don't look like you have support, I believe support goes away from you. If you're able to have everybody sit at home and not have to show your crowds, it's a little bit easier to, dismiss away somebody who has much larger crowds, i.e. Trump or Bernie Sanders. That said, oh yeah, I forgot. And then we think about how Pelosi was so worried about trying Bush because she didn't want to set the precedent of, one president being impeached and then impeaching another president right after. But if I'm not mistaken, I believe they impeached Trump twice. So she has no problem with impeaching one president twice, but that sets a bad precedent having one after the other, two separate people. So because the guy before me was bad, I get away with everything. That's Nancy Pelosi logic. But when it's my political enemy, I can go after them twice. Let's just keep that in mind, because hypocrisy comes back around. You reap what you sow through the biblical text. What goes around comes around through, just common word saying. And then what's the other one? Karma. So you can keep doing all this stuff. It's gonna come back to you. I don't care how rich these people are, how powerful they are. Nobody escapes judgment. So, have your fun now in Pelosi. I guarantee you won't be enjoying it much longer. And I'm not saying that as no kind of threat. So let me put that disclaimer there. I'm just saying, when Judgment Day comes with the Most High, I'm pretty sure, just from what it looks like on the outside alone, I'm pretty sure that her rap sheet is going to be pretty ugly and she's going to have a lot to explain for. But live it up here in this world while she's still, breathing, And on to the next one. This one I'll play for you. I heard this on The Hill So I'll just play the audio and hopefully you're able to hear it okay.
Derek Chauvin, the Minneapolis police officer on trial for murdering George Floyd, he was found guilty of all 3 charges yesterday. A Fox News panel reacted to that verdict with Greg Gutfeld explaining why he is personally relieved with the outcome.
And now I'm going to just get really selfish. I'm glad that he was found guilty on all charges.
Yeah.
Even if he might not be guilty of all charges.
Oh my God.
I am glad that he is guilty of all charges because I want a verdict that keeps this country from going up in flames.
Oh my goodness.
No. What do you mean?
Look, Greg, listen.
What do you mean? No, I'm at least being honest. My neighborhood was looted. I don't ever want to go through that again.
We do not sacrifice individuals for the sake
I'm saying he's guilty. I'm saying I'm glad about the verdict.
Editor-in-chief at The Real News.
Yeah, I just thought that was very interesting. I mean, at least we get to hear somebody finally tell the truth. You know, let's give him clap it up for him. Let's give him a round of applause because at least he was honest and you got to hear some actual truth from a reporter for a change. Now, they're going to make sure to probably put him back on that shorter leash and he's not going to have a slip of the tongue like that again. That's kind of like when, what was his name? Donnie Deutsch on MSNBC said that if Bernie Sanders was the nominee, that he was automatically going to vote for Trump. I mean, these people have agendas and they have a public face, which they show us, and then they have how they really feel and how they really think of things. And too many of you out there, I feel, are too damn naive and thinking that too many things are coincidence and this and that. No, these people don't give a damn about you, me, anybody else. It's about how much money I have, my family, me and my friends, my neighborhood. I don't really even care about Derek Chauvin. I don't care about his family. He doesn't care about anybody because these people just don't care. This is just a paycheck for them. And just like for Jeff Bezos, you're just margins on a spreadsheet to him. That's the same thing with these people. You're just another story, just words that they're talking that is not connected to real people. Until he saw protests come into his own neighborhood. Now, you should try to figure out, well, why don't we try to address the problem which is leading to the protests? But you know, people like that's never the mindset. That's never, let's fix things. I just don't want the shit in my neighborhood. That's what it is. That's the reason why we have people who live in areas where there cancer and all kind of abnormalities which are being produced into people, all kind of different sicknesses that are being put on to people because I want this service, but I don't want it in my neck of the woods. So put it over there. And after a while, you keep putting all this stuff over here on these other people, and you keep holding them back, and you keep not giving them an opportunity. And then when some of them maybe go astray or do something, just move the wrong way, they get killed by cops. And then people like you feel like, well, as long as it's not in my neighborhood, it's not my problem. The very same people, these Fox News people who are so worried about Antifa and all this stuff like that and riots and protests, this attitude leads to more of those things happening because what you're doing is you're not handling anything and you're letting a situation grow. I mean, I've never understood Republicans' ideology on things. Like, their mindset is, there's a problem there. I see that there's a problem there. But because I don't like that problem, I'm not going to deal with that problem. Or because I don't feel like I should deal with it, or it's my responsibility, I'm not going to deal with it. But the problem is still there. and the problem is growing, and it's going to get worse. But Republican ideology, I don't care. It's not my problem. It's kind of like this. You can ignore a chihuahua nipping at your heels. But if it turns into 30 chihuahuas, you're going to have a problem after a while. And I don't get why Republicans, they can't see any of these things. I've lived in southern states. They'll know demographics are changing, how many people are moving to the area, the tax revenue changing, all these things. But yet, they're so damn greedy that they're worried about keeping every penny in their pocket that they won't build any bridges to expand it out. And then watch their city get more and more congested. And then get angry about the city getting more and more congested. It's going to be interesting. It is going to be interesting. I've gotten to the point where I'm just kind of more of a casual observer to all of these things because I understand how crazy this system is. And for those who are still trying to fight and maintain to do this and that, I'm with you. I just feel like all I'm going to do is study the times and notice what's going on, give my point of view, but don't expect me to be, pushing any main causes anytime soon. So with that said, hopefully you all have a good one. Thank you for joining me.